Network. Now introducing your hosts, Jay Johnson's Cowboy Cody Slovinsky, Vandy Chris Keenhold, and Mr. Cheesy himself, Randy Jewers. Let's start the show, boys!
Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This is the Golden Broom Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Slavinsky, joined as always by Mr. Vandy Chris. But let me readdress that. Joined by the man who defeated Tennessee this weekend, Vandy Chris. How you feeling, man?
Don't forget that mess. I'm glad to get that damn monkey off my back. But let me remind folks of something. They can talk all the smack they want to about Tennessee, how they won 3 straight series from us and whooped our ass in the process. But we've won 7 out of 10 series against them. We've won 3 of the last 5 games. The Tide has returned to normal levels in the state. It's our state, and I don't care if they like it or not, our state, baby.
There you go. You know, I was very impressed. I like their abilities to steal bases over the weekend. I mean, Vanderbilt didn't play a regular series against them. They found the weaknesses at Tennessee and they capitalized on it, and it was very impressive. And I mean, obviously, with Tennessee, I mean, they're a very good team. I mean, they are so. What I'm about to say is going to sound weird, but it's not wrong. Tennessee is having a down season compared to what they've had over the last few years.
Oh, poor
But
babies.
they're not bad. They're still a good team, and even if they don't end up hosting, because this weekend's a hard series for them. Going to Arkansas on the road, Arkansas's 30-3 at home. Tennessee is like I think 14-7 on the road or something like that. Like I mean, they're solid, but it's a hard series for them. There's a good chance Tennessee is not going to be a top 16 host.
Timeout. Did you say they were a good team?
They are a good team.
They've lost 4 straight series. They've lost 5 out of 6 series. They've lost 2 straight series at home. The only reason they've got the inflated record that they do is because their non-conference schedule before SEC play started
That was horrible.
243rd in the country. They
Yeah.
didn't play anybody with a pulse. Their record is inflated. I don't think they're near as good as what their record suggests they are.
Well, we're going to find out soon enough where they really stand because, and we'll get into this more in the show, but I mean, with Tennessee, I mean, there's a good chance that if they don't host, they'll be the top 2 seed there is. And that's a team I would not want in my regional. I would absolutely hate that.
So we'll get into this, but if I'm a team that likes to run, 100% I want them in my regional.
Oh,
Because-
VMI would have a field day with Tennessee.
Because now you have to pick your poison. Let's say Tennessee's a 2 seed somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and a team like VMI is a 3 seed.
I don't know if they're going to get in, but
Okay,
yeah.
okay, but hear me
Q,
out.
whoa, hey, buddy.
So hear me out. If Tennessee's a 2 seed and a team like VMI, it don't have to be VMI, just somebody that runs like
Sure.
crazy, is your 3 seed, and they have to play in game 1. Now you have to burn Doyle in game 1, because if you put anybody else on the mound, it's off to the races, baby. And Tennessee's putting themselves in a predicament. They're gambling with their future if they start anybody but Doyle in game 1 against a team that runs.
So, but let me ask you though. So that's one thing I've thought about heading into postseason this year. A lot of teams are top heavy in their pitching rotations. It's rare to find someone that's got a good 1 through 3 that's just consistent. It's hard. I mean, it's just hard, and it makes me wonder how many teams might take the risk of pitching backwards come or the NCAA tournament. And when I say that, so for example, like a Tennessee, who's to say that they don't try to go Coons on short rest to start it out? And
I'm running all day on him,
and that's fine. I mean, it showed that it works. But obviously, you guys also have very good base runners, so that helped you out. But I really think that might have opened up the gap for a lot of teams that they've noticed a weakness there. Because when you see that, I mean, that's something you're going to continue to test. And it's not that the catcher does not have a good arm, because he does. It's the delivery of the pitching that made the difference in that.
Oh, Sunday was 100% on Peebles.
Oh, sure. But with Phillips, though, I mean, I don't know, man. It was just interesting to say the least. But that being said, we have to address the elephant in the room, my friend. We got a new number 1 this week, and
Enjoy it.
I don't like it because we go to
Enjoy it
this week, and we should handle business there. Should. I expect Paul Maneria to pull out all stops to try to win that series, because why not? But LSU's at number 1, and as long as they sweep or win their series, they should probably remain there, I would think. But going into the tournament where LSU stands, let's say they sweep that series, they'll be one of the 4 teams that don't have to play until the end of the week in Hoover, which is good for them, which it's one reason I don't like this setup, though, in Hoover, because the teams that are going to be that top 4 are probably going to be 4 of your best traveling fan bases for that tournament. So Tuesday and Wednesday, you're losing so much money. Luckily, the Mississippi teams will be playing because they travel really well. So at least they will be there to, recoup some of that loss. But I don't see how, and from a financial standpoint, how that makes sense. But that's just me. But
So
anyway,
who do you consider the best 4 traveling teams?
okay, so I'm glad you asked. So obviously LSU, I'd have it number one. They take over the stadium. Another really good traveling fan base is Vanderbilt. The Vanderbilt fans travel well, and even when they're not even filling up the stadium, I mean, Preacher and Jeff make it where it's a takeover already because their whistles drown the crowd out. But no, Vanderbilt does travel well. I will say South Carolina is a very, very good traveling fan base. They travel better than most, actually, for the distance that they have to come. But both the Mississippi schools travel really well. Florida, over the last few seasons, has traveled better than they had historically. But Alabama and Auburn are still not. It's like, I don't know. I guess like the fan base just hasn't gotten there yet, which I get that. I mean, it went through a lull for many years where neither team was really that great. They weren't bad, but they weren't great. And now especially Auburn this year, I actually expect Auburn fans to show up really well. Tennessee fans have done a really good job over the last few years showing up for the tournament. I enjoy that. I'm excited to see what Texas fans have to offer in terms of their travel for the tournament because, with it being their first year, I think that more fans will want to travel and get that experience because if you've never been to Hoover, it is 100% worth going. Oklahoma fans, I don't know yet. Because I know obviously they had issues with like weather early in the season, so they had lower turnouts. But their fan base, they showed up well to close out the year.
They didn't even travel to Omaha when they were in the finals against Ole Miss.
We're gonna see. I do know one Oklahoma fan that will be in attendance at the SEC tournament, so that's all that matters to me. But man, it's gonna be fun to see. It really is. Georgia fans, I will say, is probably one of the least traveling fan bases for baseball. And it's weird. I can truly say of this being my 30th tournament to go to that. I mean, I've seen minimal Georgia fans at the tournament.
So, in that regard, you currently have a 3-way tie for the 4 spot based on tiebreakers because it's a 3-way tie. It goes to most wins between the 3 schools that are tied.
Sure.
So we played both Georgia and Auburn. Georgia has played Auburn as well. So we've all 3 played each other. So that's the tiebreaker. Between those 4 teams, we swept Georgia. That's 3. Plus we won 1 at Auburn. That's 4.
Yes.
So
did Georgia win the series against Auburn?
So Auburn has 2 wins, right? Because
okay.
They beat us twice.
Yeah.
Georgia won that series 2-1.
Oh.
So they both. So
3-3.
Georgia has 1 or 2 because they got the 2 against Auburn. They didn't get 1 on us, so they got 2. Auburn's got 3. Vanderbilt's got 4. Therefore, Vanderbilt wins the tiebreaker. They are the current number 4 seed.
Okay. And this week's games, if you look at it, I mean, all right, so Georgia with A&M, I think Georgia should win that series. But then again, I think A&M might have a chip on their shoulder after last weekend. I know they felt deflated. I think that's what it felt like. Watching it, it was weird. I'm taking Georgia in that series, but that will be an interesting one to follow for sure. Auburn at Ole Miss is a test. Auburn on the road is just not as good as they are at home. I actually favor Ole Miss in that series. For Vanderbilt with Kentucky they're the most bipolar team I've seen this year. They win series and look great, but then when they lose series, they look really bad. So I don't know what to make of them. I think Vanderbilt has a chip on their shoulder right now, and I think at the end of the day, I think Vanderbilt will probably solidify that 4 seed. So, I mean, I don't see why not.
We've had this one circled for a year.
Oh, for sure. So another one too, though, Tennessee and Arkansas is one that really sticks out to me because Obviously, Arkansas is still playing for the regular season championship in the conference, as is LSU, as is Texas. Texas, I think, has the toughest route of everybody because they have to be on the road. And Oklahoma at home is, they're a respectable squad. And with it being a rivalry, I think that is actually going to be a very tough series, especially since Texas has been trending down. So the crazy thing is, if let's say LSU sweeps South Carolina, Arkansas goes and let's say they win 2 or 3 from Tennessee, and then let's say Oklahoma were to sweep Texas, you got a 3-way tie for first to close out the year.
So put them standings up again.
Sure.
And what'd you say you thought LSU would do?
If let's say they sweep South Carolina. So let's say LSU wins 3, Arkansas wins 2, Texas wins none. You have a 3-way tie.
Are you calling for Texas to get swept by
No. This is 100% hypothetical. 100% hypothetical.
That's what would have to happen for it to be a tie.
Yeah, absolutely. And in that case, Arkansas, they swept Texas, so they got 3 there, 1 against LSU, so they got 4. LSU won 2 from Arkansas, 1 from Texas, so they got 3, and Texas would have 2. So it'd be Arkansas, LSU, Texas in that scenario, which is crazy because that absolute insanity. Anything can happen. With Ole Miss and Auburn, Ole Miss has a chance to get to 16 to 17 wins after this weekend. That's huge for them. It really is. Florida, they've got Alabama this week, and if they win 1 or 2, they could potentially finish 15-15 in conference, which is absolutely amazing. You'll be out $50, but
So, but is it really amazing? Let's really talk about that.
Well, considering they started at 1-11 in conference play, and now they're 13-14.
But look who they've been beating.
It doesn't matter. 12-3. They got a series win over Arkansas. They got a series win over Texas. That's the top 2 teams in the SEC right now.
Okay, that's 4 of what? They were 1 and
of 12
11?
wins. Of 12 wins, a third of them came against Texas and Arkansas.
And the rest came against Missouri, South Carolina, and Mississippi State.
Hey, Mississippi State's looking respectable right now. They're actually playing for a spot in the tournament right now.
They weren't when Lamona's was there.
Either way, though, they're still in a good spot. They are. All right,
Yes,
so what's 3HL?
Radio show in Nashville.
Okay.
Afternoon drive time sports show.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was certainly on there.
Of course you were.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, did you plug the show?
I'm on their radio, so I couldn't. But
Every time I decide I'm going to go on a radio show, I'm going to plug the show out of spite. If I get banned, who cares? I got it in one time. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I called in. I got to hand it to the Tennessee guy. The producer's a Tennessee fan. The main host, Brent Doherty, his kid plays football at MTSU, but he's a Tennessee fan, more or less. And then the biggest personality on the show is a guy named Ron Slay that played basketball at UT.
Yeah.
And he actually gave Vanderbilt their flowers. I was proud of it.
Let's see something. Speaking of the state of Tennessee, I got to look up something real quick and see if there's any movement on something. Well, that's loading. There it goes. All right, let's see what our boys doing. Nothing. So I'm taking it that our former guest Connor Bowden ended up redshirting this year. He don't have any stats. That's the only reason. I was just when you're talking about, I was like, you know what? I wonder what he's doing. So interesting. But man, yeah. Looking at these standings though, I mean, it's absolutely insane to consider like where some of these teams are right now.
So
4,096 team playoff.
I know.
Hold on one second.
So I've been waiting on TriStar.
Oh God.
I was messaging TriStar on Twitter this weekend asking him if he was okay. He never answered me.
I don't blame him. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think college baseball. I think they actually need to expand their the tournament a little bit.
It's already the hardest tournament in all of sports to win.
Absolutely, but I want to see it go
No.
to 68. I want 68 so bad.
No.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Have two
That's
play-in
dumb.
games?
That's
Two
dumb.
play-in games? Why not?
Because
They do it in college basketball.
Okay, but it's different. Now you're taking two teams that have minimal chance to win anyway, and you're making it even worse for possibility of them doing anything because now you're taking away arms that they don't have that everybody else does.
True.
That's dumb. It serves no point.
Yeah. I mean, but it looks good if you can say you made it. 32, man. I want a 64 team football playoff. What you talking about? Nah, I'm actually okay with it being 12. I think that's fine. I always wanted it.
There's nothing wrong with 12.
No, not at all. I always wanted it to be a 16 team playoff.
Well,
that's always what I wanted.
If you're going to do 16 in football, it has to be. You do 4 conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you take that. You do 8 conferences, period. You go back, you get rid of these 16 and 18 team conferences. You go back to 12 conferences.
I do miss that.
Well, eight conferences. You limit FBS football to 96 teams.
Yeah.
You have 8 conferences, 12 teams in each conference. You take the first round of the playoffs will be 16 teams, right? The 1st round is your conference championship game. Period. The end.
Yeah.
So then you get down to an 18 playoff, and all 8 teams are conference champions.
I would like that.
And to make it fair and equitable for everybody, have a lottery.
That would be interesting.
In July.
Okay.
Before the season starts.
Okay.
Okay. So if your conference wins the national championship this year, you only get one ball in the lottery.
Yeah.
If you're one of the last teams, so you'd get 1 and 2 would have 1 ball and 2 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever finished in the semifinals, you'd have to take whoever has the better record. That team gets 3. Number 4 gets 4.
Okay.
And so on down the line.
Okay.
And then you have the lottery for whoever gets number 1. You're going to be conference number 1 this year. And you line it up as a 1v8.
I'd watch that.
There's
I wouldn't
no
think
human
twice about it.
there's no human polls involved in saying, "Oh, this team should play this team because this team." Stop it. It's random draw in July. Nobody knows. And if you want to be the best, it don't matter who you play or when you play them, you got to beat them.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Sounds good to me.
You don't think they could make $1 billion on advertising for college football playoff lottery?
Easily. More people care about that than they do the NBA, so absolutely. That being said, there was a big thing announced today, Chris. Huge thing announced, actually. Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe, and other deceased banned baseball players are now eligible for Hall of Fame induction. I am beyond thrilled. And the reason I say that is this. Some of these people that were banned made mistakes. That being said, their mistakes are still a giant part of the history of the sport. And the impacts that these men made on the sport deserves recognition. And I've always been pro Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame. Best hitter of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I am so happy that we now have a legitimate chance to see Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
So, you know what brought that on, right?
I have no idea. I don't know any details.
They had Ohtani dead on the money, selling out money to people in Japan to bet on games that he was pitching in.
Yeah, that's okay.
And they did nothing.
And they know that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And they don't want to taint the game right now.
And if you do nothing to him, you have to fix the past mistake.
Makes sense. I mean, because they brushed it under the rug extremely fast.
Had him dead to rights, providing the money for people to bet on his games that he knew he was pitching in.
Interesting.
And when they chose to do nothing, they were forced to fix the past.
I gotcha.
My only thing on that is, yes, the gamblers make them eligible.
Yeah.
Those who took PEDs, screw y'all. You cheated.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Makes sense. Well, hey, let's pay some bills real quick before we jump into the back end of this show. If you're in the Anderson, South Carolina area and you need your skin inked, or if you just want to take a trip and get away and get your skin inked, go see Jimbo. And again, if you need to see examples of his work, inbox Andrew Anderson or the College Sports Villains page, and he will send you pictures of his body.
That sounds wrong.
I hope he was watching that.
No.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
He cheated.
I don't care.
He cheated.
Don't care.
He
Do not care.
PEDs.
Look, I do not care. But even before it all happened, guess what? He was still hitting bombs.
He took PEDs. It's tainted. No.
I'm sorry. I will always be a pro Barry Bonds guy. I can't help it. I love Barry Bonds. Was always one of my favorite players.
They had the needle where he was taking PEDs. Stop. No.
I think McGuire should be in. I think Canseco should be in. I think all those guys should be in.
They cheated.
Have a special wing. Have an asterisk wing.
They cheated.
But it was still a huge. Put it this way. They may have cheated, but that was the absolute best era of baseball for a young generation. The Sosa-McGuire rivalry will never be touched.
They cheated.
I don't care. I loved every second of it. Honestly, I say let them juice up. Who cares?
You're
It
cheating.
is what it is.
You're
Cheat.
cheating.
You gotta cheat to win, my friend.
No. Either do it the right way or don't do it.
I guess. Anyways, let's look at the games for this weekend. A fun way to close it out. One thing that people do not think about, though, is the last weekend of regular season SEC play is when a few teams lose their steam. It's notorious for happening. It's happened many, many times. And it's weird. Sometimes it really hurts a team. Sometimes they bounce back in the postseason. They're fine. But when a team seems to have things on lock, they don't worry about it. Like, honestly, a team like Texas this week, they don't have anything to worry about. They're guaranteed a top 8 spot, even if they get swept this weekend. And if they're not, that's absolutely ludicrous. Arkansas, I think they need to win a game. I just think they do. Coming off series losses to Florida and LSU, I just think that Arkansas needs a win. LSU, same situation. I think they're a lock for a top 8 seed, but I think they don't need to let South Carolina be a team to beat them. Now, the one good thing, though, for this weekend is there's so many tight battles for regulars, like for tournament seedings and all that. And honestly, where you finish in the standings, which is going to affect your NCAA tournament status a little bit. And there's a lot of competition there. So I think we might, for a change, see minimal drop off this week and actually see some very good competitive baseball.
You want to know what I want to see?
What's that?
I don't care if we're in the double bye or the single bye. I want Vanderbilt to go down there, play one game, and go home.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, you've wanted that for 10 years. I don't think you've ever been like, I want an SEC tournament championship.
We are a lock for a national seed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
SEC tournament's not going to affect that. Go down there, throw off, go home, rest your arms, get ready to host a regional, take care of business at home.
Yeah, I mean, because the one good thing for Vandy is they have a very good RPI right now. And, you win the series of Kentucky, I think you've pretty much locked down a top 8 seed at that point. I don't think there's a question about it. I think if you lose the series of Kentucky at home, though, I think that would knock you out of the top 8.
I don't think it does.
Really?
No.
What if you get swept by Kentucky? Not that it's going to happen, but
that might knock us out of the top 8.
yeah.
But if you win 17 games in the SEC,
oh, sure,
you're going to be. Your chances are you're a top 8 seed.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So, and let me clarify something here. He brings up Lawrence Taylor. Crack is not the same as performance enhancing drugs. They're not the same.
You ever smoke crack, Chris?
Nope, ain't going to either.
You may think you're a good worker at your job now. You'd be 3 times the worker if you did that. How do I know? I had a guy that was working for me one time do it, and I called him, and he was fantastic.
There's a difference.
You say so. All right, so give me your picks for the weekend.
I think Texas A&M quit. I think Georgia sweeps them.
Okay. Wait, hey, before you go to the next series, let me ask you a quick question though. If Texas A&M wins that series, do they sneak into the NCAA tournament?
No.
Wow. Interesting. I like it though.
Even if they sweep, that puts them at 13 and 17.
Does
50%.
Texas A&M make a coaching change?
Somebody posted something about his buyout, and I didn't get to see what it was.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see what his buyout was. Paul Maneri's got like $5.2 million on his buyout. Whoever negotiated his contract, respect.
Mississippi State played good ball this past weekend. They've been playing good ball under the interim coach. Yes, Missouri handled Texas A&M. I think Mississippi State handles that series.
Okay.
I think Alabama slows down this Florida run.
Really?
Riley Quick, Nate Snell, they got the horses to do it. To be honest, they should have won the series in Nashville against Vanderbilt. That was a massive comeback. Once we got Riley Quick out of the game, it changed.
Yeah.
I think they got the arms and the bats to line up with Florida and handle that.
So I don't know if you know this about Riley Quick, but so he's from the Trussville area, and he was a big offensive line recruit out of high school.
I can see it. That's a big old boy.
Oh yeah. Oh, he used to be a lot bigger too. Hey, so to answer the question, if terminated without cause, Michael Early would be owed about $3 million.
Oh, he's gone.
That's chump change for A&M.
He's gone.
Yeah.
If it was $5 million, they'd be stuck.
Yeah, which I mean, honestly, he was making $950,000 a year, so he had a very a low end. Which I mean, it's an entry job for him. So I mean, I understand why his salary was lower. Makes perfect sense.
LSU, they sweep South Carolina.
Yeah, with Ethan Petrie out, I mean, it's hard to give South Carolina much credit at this point, and that's not a knock on them because I mean they're still going to fight. They got fight in them. They haven't quit. They're just below the line.
I think Texas takes 2 out of 3 against Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's hitting the wall.
I gotcha. So basically, Kai Witherspoon wins them a game, and then you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm going to go out. I think Arkansas wins 2 out of 3. I don't see them beating Liam Doyle, but the rest of the staff, I think Arkansas can handle it. And here's my thing. I know there's going to be a lot of chirping going on. Tony Vitello in Arkansas and Arkansas fans and Tennessee fans and this and that. Tennessee needs to put the sideshow circus on the bench and focus on playing baseball.
I agree.
Because you look like clowns when you're running around the bases saying, this is our house, this is our house.
Oh, is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought he was cussing them out.
And dropping F-bombs at everybody in sight.
Yeah.
And then getting beat. You look like a clown.
It's true.
I mean, you just do.
That being said, speaking of Tennessee, if you get a chance, Chris, you ought to go check out In Off the Bench's interview with Alberto Osuna. It's pretty good interview.
Well, I've said all I can say about Osuna. He was not part of the 2024-25 scholastic year anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what the ruling for Diego Pavia applied to, is people in that class.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just made a mistake of leaving Tampa. He should have stayed at Tampa, finished it out, gone pro, and been done with it.
Yep.
Because I mean, he's talented. He's good enough to go pro. But I mean, hey, respect to Tennessee for letting him stay around and travel with them and be part of the team, even if he can't be on the field. I mean, I respect that. I mean, I do feel bad for the guy because I mean that's a huge leap to go from North Carolina to Tampa and then get an opportunity at Tennessee, take it to find out that your career's done. I mean, that's horrible.
There was no opportunity though. They were trying to bend the rules to fit them, and there was no opportunity. The ruling specifically said people in the class of 24-25 were eligible.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying the way that they recruited Osuna, though, he
Yeah,
probably was like, "Yeah, here we go. It's gonna be awesome," and then it just didn't work out.
right.
I mean, it's poor guy. I feel terrible for him because I mean that sucks to be in that situation, thinking you get a cool opportunity at Tennessee to find out that you just get to go and stand there. I mean, that sucks. But I mean, hey, it is what it
But
is.
but would he really have helped them?
I believe so, actually. When they were going through their struggles of finding a consistent designated hitter, I think he would be fine.
Hey, look, it's Nate.
Hey, Nate, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, that's not good. But guess what? They still beat Florida 3-0. They won that. They swept that series.
Yeah, that was so early in the season, though. It don't even matter. It's all good, though. All right, let me give you some predictions real quick.
So I haven't finished yet.
Oh, I thought you went through them all. Who'd you miss?
We've had this one circled for a year.
Oh, God, the main game. My bad.
I didn't do Auburn yet either.
Oh,
We're sweeping Kentucky. This series has been circled for a year. There's a whole lot of chirping that went on last year, and this has been circled.
okay.
On the road at Ole Miss. Auburn wins 2 out of 3. Auburn's that good.
Okay. Okay. So,
Auburn's an Omaha team.
oh, I agree with that. I think they are too. But Auburn needs this series badly because I know they want to play into a top 8 seed. And they have the chance. They genuinely do have a chance. Because for their RPI, winning at Ole Miss looks really good to close out a season.
So, fun fact about Auburn and Vanderbilt. In every single metric, RPI, KPI, strength of schedule, wins against Q1 teams, every metric, there's only 2 teams in America that are top 3 in every single one of those categories.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn and Vanderbilt.
Interesting. Very interesting.
They're both going to be national seeds.
I will say I had low expectations for Vanderbilt this year, and the fact that they're doing what they're doing actually makes me happy. Now, that said, Auburn Ole Miss, I'm thinking Ole Miss is going to win this series still. I really do.
I was pegging us for 15 and 15, 14
Mhm.
and 16 in that
Sure.
range. But what I can say is Tim Corbin flipped that roster.
He did.
6 of our regular starters are portal guys that came in
Mhm.
this year. So this whole idea that Tim Corbin doesn't play the portal is absolutely not true.
Yeah, it's true. He definitely has stepped it up in that realm. But yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to take 2 or 3 from Auburn. Like I've said, Auburn away from home is just not the same team. And while Auburn is good enough, obviously, to win the series, I really think that I just really think Ole Miss has got enough to get that one to pull it away. A&M and Georgia, I don't know what to make of the series because 2 weeks ago, A&M looked like a team that was ready to make their run into the tournament and be one of the more dangerous 3 seeds that we've ever seen. And now they're looking like they don't have any shot at the tournament at this point. Obviously, if they sweep Georgia and do something decent in Hoover, we could have a different conversation here. But getting swept by Missouri is the worst possible thing you can do as a SEC team this year.
I don't know. I don't know what happened in that 9th inning. At one point, Texas A&M was up 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the 9th, they were up 6-3, and they gave up 6 runs in the 9th inning. Game 2 was 10-1. Game 3 was 7-1. They were completely not competitive at all. I don't know what happened in that 9th inning, but that team quit.
Mm-hmm. And then game 3, it was just a beatdown. It was absolutely just annihilation. So I'm going to take Georgia to win this series 2-1. I think A&M might actually win game 1 in this series, but I just don't know if they've got enough to carry them the whole weekend after what we saw. But if they were to be swept, I would not be surprised. Alabama and Florida, I'm riding the wave with Florida. I'm taking them 2-3. Playing at home. Alabama is – they started out hot. They pulled in Alabama, and now they're kind of recovering from that a little bit, which is a very positive thing to see. But I think Florida's run that they're on right now is just very good. I don't think Florida's an Omaha team, but I think that they're good enough to get to a super. But we shall see.
If
Because
they play somebody that can run the bases,
yeah,
they're in trouble.
true.
Their
But
catcher can't throw it. Their catcher can't throw out a turtle.
I mean, he's got a lot of throw out, but
No, he
Capola
don't.
back. Capola being back though is a huge get for Florida.
Yeah, okay, but you get Capola back, and you lose Cody Shelton, your best hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you got?
It's true. But I don't know. I'm riding the wave with Florida right now.
And
I got to feel for him.
And Capola wasn't pitching good to begin with.
His numbers are fantastic.
No, they weren't.
Go look at them. They're great numbers. Kentucky, Vandy. Again, it's a bipolar thing with Kentucky. I got to look at something with Kentucky real quick, though, before I make my pick on this, because there's something Kentucky D1 baseball. Because there's one thing I do want to see real quick before I make my pick. All right. On the road, Kentucky in the SEC. One loss. All right, so they won 2 or 3, so 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-2 series record on the road against SEC. Doesn't really tell me much. I don't know. I think Vandy's I think they're turning a page right here. You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take Vandy in a sweep this weekend. Why not? I think that they can do it, because after last weekend, I have more faith in Vandy than I've had in a long time, because they're actually healthy going into the postseason, and that's nice to see. All right, Mississippi State, Missouri. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Missouri's playing some hot baseball right now, and State also is playing some hot baseball as they're on the search for a new head coach. I want to say I favor Mississippi State in this series for obvious reasons, and I think that Mississippi State has a chance to really put themselves in a good spot heading into the postseason. Not a host or anything like that, but I mean they could be a strong 2 seed. I think the momentum's going to ride with Missouri, though. I think they're going to pull a win out. I think it's going to be a 2-1 series win for State. But I think Missouri, they've got something cooking right now. And I actually think they're going to be very competitive in this series, because when you go on the road and win like that after being winless all year and get to go back to your home field and play, I mean, I think that could possibly work out in their favor. But give me State 2-1. LSU, South Carolina. LSU facing Paul Maneri. I'm giving LSU a sweep in that one. I think it will be competitive, but yeah, just give me a sweep. Tennessee, Arkansas. That's going to be tough for both teams, really. The one weakness I notice about Arkansas is they do strike out a lot. And obviously, when you're facing the guy with the most strikeouts in the conference / country and all that good stuff, that's not good. I mean, my God, Liam Doyle has only allowed 32 hits all year. That's just unheard of. If he's not SEC Pitcher of the Year, then it doesn't make sense. And I'm a giant Cade Anderson fan, and I will support him to the day I die. But I have to be honest. Liam Doyle is fantastic. He's been fantastic in every outing. He's just that good. I still think Arkansas takes a series, and honestly, if Arkansas swept Tennessee this weekend, it would not surprise me at all. I think last week really, I think it deflated Tennessee. I want to say it woke a giant, but I really think it deflated them. That was a bad, bad, bad weekend for them. And I think they tried to use their smack talking antics to, rile up the troops or whatever, but it didn't work. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas actually cleaned house with them, because the Aloy brothers are fan-freaking-tastic. That whole lineup, though, 1-9, even their 9-hole, man, he was lighting the ball up last weekend. And their pitching is really good. They've got Parker Coyle back now, and he's looking great, pitching great. Give me the Hogs in a big, big win this weekend, and potentially even winning the SEC, which is crazy to say at this point, considering where Texas was a few weeks ago. Red River rivalry in baseball, Texas, Oklahoma. Texas loses Jared Spencer for the season, having to, modify that starting rotation. Ruger Rojas has been strong all year until as of late. And since that change in the staff, the way that they work, he's been figured out. He's getting tagged like it's nothing. And I don't know if that's sustainable in the postseason for Texas. I think that's going to be their Achilles heel, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you can't stop the other team from scoring, I mean, you can't win. There's only so much you can do offensively. Oklahoma is one of those teams where they're good at small ball, and they could really pepper Texas to have a rough weekend. I'm going to take Oklahoma 2-3 in this series. I think that they're going to sneak one out that they shouldn't, but I think they're going to win game one. And I think it's going to be a good weekend for them to bounce back and close the season strong. And man, going into Hoover, that's just going to be so fun to watch. My God. So yeah, that's my picks.
So I wanted to correct you on something.
Okay.
You said Coppola's numbers are fantastic.
Yeah, for what he's had to appear in.
So what I'll give you is, sure, he's got 28 strikeouts and 15 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you who he pitched against.
Sure.
His first game of the season, he pitched against Air Force.
Okay.
Air Force is 20-31. They're 11 games under 500. They're 5-21 on the road.
Okay.
Okay. You're not pitching against a team that's got a pulse.
Okay.
His second game of the year was weekend number 2. Do you know who he pitched against?
I don't.
Dayton.
Dayton's fantastic.
Dayton is 25-27. They're 13-14. They're 13-14 in their conference. They're 8-17 on the road. Again, it's not a team that's got a pulse.
Sure.
Last week he pitched against South Carolina. Do we need to talk about what South Carolina is?
They're a solid hitting team.
They're a 5-win SEC team. They're 5-22 in the SEC. They're a bottom feeder. They don't have a pulse. So you can have inflated numbers when you're not pitching against good competition.
Okay. We're going to learn a lot this weekend when he goes against Justin LeBron and Cade Snell.
And do you know what he did in that South Carolina game?
What's that?
1 inning pitch, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Okay.
Not great. That's not great.
It'll be give him time. I'm telling you, it'll be great for him. Give it time. So, Chris, your favorite moment of the show?
Okay, I got to correct him on this too.
Oh God.
He pitched well against Miami before he got hurt. He pitched 2.2 innings. He had 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and pulled him.
How many runs did he allow?
It was 0-0 at the time, and they pulled
Okay.
him. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. He wasn't
Okay.
pitching well.
I mean, that's not terrible. He still got 2 strikeouts and didn't allow any runs.
So
I'll take that. You can control the base paths. That's all that matters to me.
you're issuing free passes against a team that doesn't have a pulse.
Yeah,
It's what it is.
it's fair.
Let Pierce Capola walk some guys at Vanderbilt and see what happens to them.
Let's do it. I want to see it. Maybe they can meet in Hoover or something.
We already ran on them.
Yeah. How many stolen bases does Vanderbilt have on the year?
Give me just a second, I'll tell you.
I'm just genuinely curious.
It'll take me just a moment to pull that up. Vanderbilt is currently 96 out of 116. 96 stolen bases in 116 attempts.
That's impressive, actually. All right. That said, it is time for the Dirty Jockstrap Award, Chris. The award presented to the team that stunk it up this week. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows who's getting this award. We kind of talked about it. The team that's quit, unfortunately. Texas A&M. Ugh.
Yes, hey, here you go. He also pitched against Texas. Do you want to hear those numbers?
Sure.
Pierce Capola on Friday night got the win. How he got the win, I don't know, because he only pitched 2 innings.
Okay.
Gave up 2 hits. He did have 3 strikeouts.
Okay.
He had 2 hit by pitch.
Okay.
So in 8 at bats, 10 batters faced, he allowed 4 base runners in 8 at bats.
Okay.
That's not great.
How many runs?
He pitched 2 innings. He allowed 4 base runners out of 10 batters faced.
How many runs?
Okay, cool. You can throw 2 innings of scoreless ball.
Exactly. So he got the K's when they mattered most.
Again, when you're giving up base runners, you're not pitching great.
I'd rather give up a base runner and put up a goose egg versus put on base runners and let them score. So I'll take that. So he's nails when it matters. It's pretty dang good. But hey, we'll find out more as the season goes on. That being said, Terry, I need you to give me a sloppy tiger burger.
And he threw 43 pitches in 2 innings.
Okay, that is pretty inflated, actually.
It's not great.
Yeah, 2 innings at the most, you need to be throwing 30 pitches. Anything over that, then you got some issues. But you also have to give him benefit of the doubt, though. He's coming back from injury, so you can't expect him to be perfect instantly. It takes some time to adapt. He's got 2 outings now since then. It's looking good.
Here's the concerning part. And I witnessed this on Sunday with Connor Fennell. If you're in the zone and people are making contact, you're living dangerously.
Yeah.
Texas, 10 batters for Texas had 10 foul balls. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
In 2 innings. Now, and I say that knowing that Connor Fennell and the way Tennessee was swinging the bat, he lives on the edge of the zone. So his pitches were close. They were making contact. They fouled off 23 pitches in 3 innings.
Jeez. That's impressive, actually.
And people talk about, well, he threw 80 pitches. Yeah, 23 of them were foul balls that were fouled off because he was living in the zone.
Actually, I have a pitcher to ask you about. Sawyer Hawks. I've noticed that he hasn't been as dominant since coming back.
I mean,
not pitching terrible,
right?
But he hasn't been his normal self. And I know he's going through a lot mentally with what he had to deal with, but do you think him taking that weekend off hurt him?
I think it's more mental. But he's as you said, he's still putting up goose eggs.
Yeah.
He's still throwing at 96, 97. And the only hits they've gotten off of him have been home runs.
Yeah. Huh. Ooh. My sloppy tiger burger. Sloppy Joe striped with yum yum sauce and teriyaki sauce. Let me tell you, I would love that already because yum yum sauce and teriyaki sauce are 2 of my favorite sauces. It will have green onions chopped with sticky sushi rice. Side of fried rice. Might not be your best work. Dude, I would eat that in a heartbeat because those are all the things that I love to eat. And I love a good sloppy Joe. So. Oh, drunk Terry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right.
Drowning his sorrows because his softball team got their butts whooped tonight.
Oh, did they?
Wait a minute. It might be he's disappointed because if Iowa wins the series against Oregon, UCLA cannot win the Big Ten.
I don't think winning the Big Ten really matters for them at this point. I think they're pretty strong where they sit.
They didn't beat.
Wait, who got eliminated from the playoffs? You talking about your softball team? You're talking about basketball?
Probably the softball team. Unless he's cheering for Golden State.
That makes sense. All right. It's time for the Golden Broom Award. The award for the team that won his softball team. Gotcha.
I was right.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Right.
The Golden Broom Award, the award for the team that won their midweek and swept their series, voted on by the administrative team at College Baseball Smack. Use promo code Golden Broom for 10% off your order with Chinook Seedery. The best, the best, the best. All right. Drum roll, please. The winner of the Golden Broom is... What? Oh, a team that didn't win their... Just kidding. Here is the winner of the Golden Broom Award. Gave it to Kentucky because Chris is no fun and fears them. They also swept OU at home. I spelled fears wrong because I typed it quickly.
Yeah.
But no, I want to make an appreciation graphic.
Yeah.
For Missouri because hell froze over. This team was on pace to dethrone Vanderbilt from like 100 years ago to be the most losses in a season without a win. And my God, Missouri did the unthinkable. They got their first win. And everybody was shocked. Dude, if you go on X, it was insane. Facebook was, it was kind of buzzing, but it was really just X that was buzzing about it. And no one could believe it. It was like, whoa. It actually happened. This is weird. It doesn't feel right. And then game 2 happens, and it happened again. And it was like, what are we seeing here? Then game 3 happens, and they beat the snot out of them. And then what's his name? Jackson Lovich. He was a single shy of the cycle.
Nice.
It was insane. He had a heck of a game. They played some good baseball, which, by the way, fun fact, had he gotten the cycle, he would have been the first Missouri player since his brother who got it a few years ago, which would have been very cool to see. But it didn't happen. But it's all good. But no, shout out to Missouri for their weekend because that was seriously awesome. Unfortunately, though, they were disqualified from the award because they were defeated by Kansas midweek, which shout out to Kansas. Heck of a season with Dan Fitzgerald in charge. Doing very good. But speaking of brothers, before we end this show tonight, I would like to share a special video. So last season, what you got?
We haven't talked Big Ten. We haven't talked ACC. Come on, man.
I don't have much to say about them. Do you?
Oh, you're going to have 2 or 3 teams from ACC.
It's true.
Probably being national hubs.
Yeah. All right, we'll do some talk on them in a second. Let's share this video real quick, and then we'll close out talking some other conferences. I'm down for that. So last season, Birmingham Southern College, they closed their doors when their team went to the World Series in baseball. It was a sad thing to see that a team does so good to return home to no school. And in that span, I'm forgetting his first name.
Andrew.
Is it Andrew Dutton? Okay, Andrew Dutton, Sam Dutton's little brother. Or no, I'm sorry, big brother. He played for them. He transferred to Auburn. Sam Dutton left LSU to join him. And Andrew has basically been their first base coach all year. Well, tonight, he got his first at bat of the season. Let's check it out.
And he transferred in here. Of course, Samuel's been outstanding on the mound, but him getting a chance to hit and hit a home run.
Wow. Way back into the night. Fly, War Eagle, fly.
Look at the Auburn dugout.
His first at bat as an Auburn Tiger. Rips it well into the night in right field. And that ball is in the witness protection program. Nobody's going to find it. My goodness, what a moment. And Auburn is acting like it just won the World Series.
That's so cool, Lynn. He got a breaking ball in. Look at that. Just hammered it. So cool. And judging by the way that Auburn dugout erupted, he's a guy they love. He's coached first base. He hasn't complained, done whatever he has been asked to do. Got no at-bats and then hits a bomb. That is so cool.
Got to give him props on that. That being said, it's so weird hearing Lynn Rollins call a game for a team that's not LSU. But I'm so happy that he doesn't use the pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye with other teams. And the one thing, I love his one-liner. So this one, that ball's in the witness protection program because you'll never find it. That is classic. Mm-hmm. It's almost as good as when he said that Anthony Ianson could throw a tater tot through an onion ring. I was like, that's just gold right there. But no, I like animated announcers like him because it makes baseball fun to watch. Because nowadays, when you watch on this ESPN Plus, you get a bunch of people that are very monotone and don't really know the game, and it's very boring. Thankfully, with him, it's entertaining and it's fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a great moment. You just love to see it when a player has a moment like that. Man, that was just cool. But yeah. Let's talk some other conferences. Before we do that, let me pull up the graphic of the rankings because that'll actually kind of help us in this a little bit. So, I mean, let's talk some ACC right now. You got your team that you're supporting, Florida State sitting at number 2. You got North Carolina number 4. That's fantastic for them. NC State sitting strong at 13. I'm not sold on NC State yet. I'm not. I give them props for their series wins they've been pulling out. I am not sold on NC State, especially not at 13. I'm sorry. I can't roll with that at all. Clemson 15, that's just weird to see, but they've kind of fallen off a little bit. Duke at 20. Duke is powered back into the top 25. They went through a bad spell for a minute, but then they popped back. Louisville, they've been pretty consistent. They lost their series against Virginia over the weekend after starting out very strong in game one. But that rounds out your ACC in the top 25. Very well represented. The ACC is going to be looking really good in the tournament. I mean, who sticks out to you the most in the ACC outside of Florida State?
Well, I was going to show you something real quick.
Yeah, what you got?
So there's your ACC standings. There's a team in here that's not ranked. Actually,
Yeah.
2.
Georgia Tech and Virginia.
You don't want Georgia Tech in your regional.
Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Miami are the 3 teams over Louisville who is ranked. That is insane. Which Miami, man, they went through a phase where they were playing some good ball, and then they kind of slipped up the last couple weeks and kind of just stuck right now.
You don't want Georgia Tech in your regional.
Oh, heck no. They got a very good offense.
But if you look, North Carolina, Florida State could end up deciding the ACC.
Pretty much. It's really a shame, too, that, Florida State had to, had their situation happen at their school where they had to have a series canceled with Virginia.
Yep.
I mean, because, who's to say Virginia wouldn't have taken that series 2-1 or vice versa? I mean, we don't know what would have happened in that series. It would have been a very good competitive series.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, had Virginia won the series, they would be sitting at second place in the ACC right now. And then Florida State, had they won the series, they would still be in first place. But
I think,
and had they not,
I think Georgia Tech is a team that's scary.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want them in their regional because they're one of the best hitting clubs in America.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many teams do you see getting in?
Of these, I'm gonna say Florida State, Georgia Tech, North Carolina State, North Carolina Duke, Virginia, Clemson. I'm gonna sneak Miami in. Louisville gets in. Wake Forest gets in. I think that might be my cut line right there. Now, should Notre Dame sweep their series this weekend and get to 15-15, then I'd probably throw them in.
At 46 in the RPI? I don't think so.
Well, if they sweep whoever they play this weekend, if they sweep their series, their RPI will rise. See, click Notre Dame. We'll see who they play. Miami. That's a good RPI game. Hey, scroll up to the top real quick. I'm going to show you a trick. You're going to like this. All right, so hit predicted results next schedule at the top. Let's see what it predicts them to finish. $30, $22, $14, $10 home. Okay, so they're predicting them to lose their series with Miami. So they predict them to drop 10 spots in the RPI.
The ACC down.
Okay.
I don't think Virginia gets in with that 60 RPI.
I think they might sneak in, and the reason I say that's because they've been playing some pretty good ball lately, and their biggest issue they have is their schedule is just not hard enough, and it really sets them back.
That 60 RPI is going to come back and haunt them.
It very well could.
Take a look at the Big Ten real quick. The Big Ten is an interesting case study. So you got Iowa sitting there in first place at 21-6. UCLA is second at 20-7. Iowa needs 2 wins to secure at least a share of the title.
How weird is it that Iowa at 21-6 in the Big Ten, 30-17 overall, and yet they're 64 RPI when the teams below them are 10-19 in the RPI?
So the reason for that, Michigan has been their highest RPI win.
Exactly. I mean, that's the negative for Iowa is that, their schedule has
They
not
haven't
been the
played-
hardest.
yeah,
And they have series losses against teams that are not very good. That Washington series hurt them.
but the Indiana, look at all these down here in the hundreds and 200s that they had to play. You just
Remember when we thought Ohio State was a decent team for about a week this year?
right.
But yeah,
So-
Iowa, that's the weirdest thing to me, though, is that they're 64 in the RPI. And actually,
I wanted to
don't know.
point 2 things out in this. Penn State sitting 8 at 15-15.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern is 11 at 12-15.
Yeah, that's a huge gap to fall if you slip up this week. I mean, realistically, I only see.
So Penn State's done.
Yeah, honest to God, truth. Even if Iowa wins the regular season Big Ten, there's a good chance that they do not make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Like, they have to win the Big Ten tournament. They don't have a choice.
I think if they beat Oregon this weekend, that RPI is going to jump enough.
For sure.
They're going to get in.
It's a shame that Oregon's RPI, though, is at 19, though. That hurts. Right now, you want to beat a team that's got, if they were playing UCLA this weekend, that would be so much better for them, especially if it were on the road. But
the reason I wanted to point out Penn State and Northwestern, last year, the entire coaching staff quit at Northwestern.
Yep. And you were livid.
And then the coach was fired 2 weeks into the season.
Mm-hmm.
This team was absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
To see them sitting right there with the 12-15 in the Big Ten, that's a major step forward for that program.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they can keep it going next year and in the years coming.
For sure.
And Penn State.
Man, talk about a fall.
2 years ago, decided that they were going to invest in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They sunk money into their facilities. They've hired made coaching changes. For them to get up to 8th in the Big Ten from where they were at.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a major step forward for that program. I see nothing but positive things in the future for them. So those are 2 teams that you're going to want to keep your eye on going forward.
Absolutely. Hey, do you mind clicking USC schedule real quick and scrolling and see who they got this weekend? At Washington. Ooh. Okay, that's not going to really help them.
At Washington.
I mean, being on the road helps a little bit, but with the RPI setting there, that's not going to help them a lot.
What really hurt them was losing that series to Michigan State.
Oh, absolutely.
Which, believe it or not, Michigan State probably has the pitcher of the year in the Big Ten.
And you know what's sad is that pitcher if he would have ended up going to Vanderbilt, do you know where Vanderbilt would be sitting right now?
Oh,
they would have probably won the SEC this year. And I'm not even being funny when I say that either. Like, I'm being for real. I think they could have won it.
That's a good question, Nate. Their RPI is 64 right now.
Yep. Hey, pull up the Big 12 real quick while we're at it. And then you can pull up the Pac-10 after that. All right, so this is the conference that I have a lot of interest in. And the reason I say that is because these are some teams that you have to really keep an eye on moving forward. Because there's a few teams that really have a chance to get in at this point. Because they will get more teams in than the Big Ten, I believe. West Virginia is a lock in the tournament. And they're actually very close to being considered as a host. Very well could end up at that point. Arizona State, I think, is in. Even with a 45 RPI, I think Arizona State's getting in. Kansas, I feel like, is a lock for the tournament as well. TCU is definitely in. TCU might actually host. That is a very good spot to be sitting. I think Arizona, they just lately they've kind of been up and down, and that's not good for them. Kansas State, on the other hand, they have a very good RPI. Their record is not the greatest, but they played some very tough teams. But one thing they can say is, though, they have a win over Arkansas, and that helps them a lot. Cincinnati, man, their RPI is fantastic. I just don't know if they're going to get in, though. Even with their RPI at 35, with a 29-22 record, that's hard to put them in. But I could be wrong there. I don't know. Obviously, Texas Tech, Houston, Baylor, UCF, BYU, and Utah, they're probably out. I don't see a scenario where Baylor gets in, even with their record not being terrible. Texas Tech is definitely not making it unless they win their tournament. A lot of people are talking about Oklahoma State, I've seen lately. They're sitting at 24-22. They're 12-12 in the conference. If they win their series this weekend, there's a lot of people thinking that Oklahoma State might actually slip in, considering one thing that people think that the committee might consider is all that they had to deal with early in the season. And I personally wouldn't put them in.
They're not getting in with an RPI at 51.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that. But there's a lot of people really buying into them getting in. So, but my thing is, though, with Arizona State at 45 in the RPI,
I don't know if they get in.
That's crazy.
If you're not in the top 30, you can't. You're just.
Oh, you're not. You're not guaranteed anything. I think I will safely say that West Virginia, Kansas, TCU are in as of right now. Arizona is on the fringe. Kansas State's fringe. Arizona State obviously is fringe. Cincinnati's on the fringe.
There's no shot of Cincinnati getting in.
I mean, well, click them real quick. Who do they play this weekend? Oh, realistically, this weekend, I think the winner of that series gets in, the loser is out. I think that's a fair assumption to make. Due to RPI? I mean, look at it. Cincinnati 35, Kansas State 36. I feel like that's an elimination game.
I don't think so. I don't think either one of them get in.
That said, I think TCU actually wins the Big 12 championship in the tournament.
Because here's something you have to consider. Stolen bids.
Sure. I'm curious to how many of those we'll see this year.
Where you could end up with this.
Oh.
Could you see a stolen bid here?
Absolutely. My God.
Who would you see stealing it?
It would. Well, I mean, realistically, either way, one of these teams are going to be in regardless. But, man, that's a hard conference to pick right there. Who would win that tournament? Because, I mean, I know Omaha has some dudes. North Dakota State has some dudes. And which, by the way, shout out to North Dakota State. 12-15 in conference, considering the schedule they have to play.
Mm-hmm.
Respect. Much respect. I mean, same to Omaha as well. I mean, one of those two teams can say they have a win over LSU. They both played them. But
so people are going to pencil in St. Thomas.
sure. But someone
Oral
that's watched a lot of ball, Oral Roberts. Yeah.
I think Oral Roberts wins that conference. I think Oral Roberts. Now, will that be considered a stolen bid? Probably not.
Nah. I think you would have to look at, like, maybe, like, go to the Big West real quick. That's one that you need to look at because you got UCSB, second column. Yeah. Irvine is your team that you know is in the tournament right now. Cal Poly is on the fringe. They're probably not in, but they're on the fringe. But should, a team like Fullerton that has an RPI of 133 that's sitting in third place in their conference do something, it's interesting. We know Hawaii's dangerous. Baseball after dark. I mean, my goodness, they're awesome. I'll be honest with you. That 1 through 4 in the standings they're all legit. Which obviously it's really 1 through 6, but they're tied for 4th. But Cal Santa Barbara, that was a team that was ranked most of the year, and they just kind of are they still ranked?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize they were still in the top 25. Huh?
How? I don't know. I guess because they're 34-16. But
they won 5 in a row. I mean, Irvine might even host, actually.
Okay. But say Hawaii jumps in here and wins that tournament.
That's a stolen bid.
That's a stolen bid.
Yeah, because, I mean, we know Irvine's getting in.
Because that's a one bid league.
Hey, who does Cal Poly play this week? Because they are a team that's dangerous.
UC Riverside.
Okay, that's 3 winnable games right there for them. Interesting.
So you got to look at these other leagues that, a team like Hawaii 100% could steal a bid.
Yep. And the Southland's another situation too. Oh. Shout out Long Island, man. Wow, you got 2 teams really battling to win the conference here, and you got 3 teams in contention. Wow. Interesting.
That league's only getting 1 in.
Yep. Hey, by the way, shout out Maryland Eastern Shore. Look at that. Maryland Eastern Shore got 5 wins this year. Hey, go to the Southland Conference. That's the one conference. They're on the furthest to the right at the top. Because they're a conference that has a lot of solid teams. So as you can see, UT Rio Grande Valley, that is one team that actually might jump in there because they had a tough schedule, and as you can see, they're doing good in their conference. Lamar, they're the only team in the conference with 40 wins. That was a team that got screwed over last year and didn't get put in and deserved to be in. This year, they're sitting pretty comfortable.
The only reason they got screwed over and got left out last year is because Florida had an AD on the selection committee.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept Lamar out and got Florida in.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you look at that, I mean, you would think Southeastern's going to win that conference, but this one's up in the air. Anybody can win this conference tournament in this one. I mean, honestly, I would go all the way down to Houston Christian. Any of those 6 right there could win that tournament. Yeah. And speaking of this conference, Incarnate Word, they lost their coach. A lot of guys hit the portal, and they have some dudes on that squad that'll be picked up quickly.
There's one I'm looking for. I'm not sure where they're at.
Who?
Northeastern.
Northeastern is in the Horizon League, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I always thought they were Horizon. No. Or is it that's not the Summit League, is it?
No, that's Oral Roberts and them.
Oh. Might be the Patriot League, actually. Or no, wait. Are they Ohio Valley? Hold on, I'm gonna look them
Here's
up.
another one. You could potentially get a stolen bid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because Creighton, I mean, they've got a very good record. So does UConn. UConn, I think, is in actually, even at 43 RPI.
I think UConn is in.
I would love to see Xavier get in.
But let's say one of these other teams wins the conference, that's going to be a stolen bid.
Yeah. All right. Northeastern's in the Coastal Conference. Coastal Athletic. Oh, man.
They're in.
Yeah.
But you need to make a Flame Award.
Mm-hmm.
So we know they're in regardless of the conference tournament. If anybody other than them wins the conference tournament, it's a stolen bid.
Absolutely. That's a wide open race for that, too. I mean, I think Northeastern wins it, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically, there's a chance for 5 to 6 stolen bids this year.
This is going to be a team that nobody wants.
Wait, whoa, scroll down a little bit. Oh, they beat Wake today. Ooh. Wow. Last 10, they won 9 of 10. That might be a favorite to win their conference tournament.
This is a team that nobody wants, is High Point.
Yeah, they're a bunch of dogs, that's for sure.
Now, take a look at some win streaks.
Yep. Southern Miss has
The
got 12.
all-time longest winning streak in Division I baseball.
$34. Dang. Hey, Southern's on there. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Here's another team.
That's a team you don't want to
Most
face in the
wins in the
postseason. Yeah, that's a team
And their
I
coach
wouldn't
is
want
going
to
to
see.
get paid.
Mm-hmm. Sitting at 38 in the RPI, that is a shame. I think they're in. I mean,
Oh,
a
they're definitely
team
in.
41 and 10, I think you overlook the RPI ranking and put them in. DBU, though. That's a stolen bid if I've ever seen one. I don't think DBU's got the arms to go a whole tournament.
You remember Kennesaw State stole that bid last year.
Mm-hmm. That's dangerous, man.
So let's take a look at some other. Did you see what just happened?
No. What
Their
about it?
RPI changed right before our eyes. It changed right. It flashed right before our eyes and changed.
Oh,
It went up to 39, and it went up to 39, and then back down to 38.
interesting. So go to the losing streaks. That's our favorites to look at. Valpo. Trying to see if there's any
Look
teams.
who's not on here.
Missouri. Maryland Eastern Shore is not on there? What?
Nope.
What? There they are.
They're way down here.
Only at 3, though. I'll take that all day. Hey, click Purdue Fort Wayne. I want to see what they've ended up doing this year. They're down low. They're like at number 37. Okay.
So, let me go ahead and stop this for a minute. And I have something else to talk about.
Also, you didn't upload my other video I sent you.
So, I want to bring up something else. Do you recognize this?
Oh, yeah.
This is the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association. JUCOs.
53-6. That's unheard of, man.
That might be a team for no, that LSU team is NAIA.
Yeah, they won't play.
So this right down here.
I'm happy to see that.
Roan State Community College. 28-29. That's the most wins in a single season for Roan State in over 30 years.
Yep.
And topped last year's record of 27-28. Now there's something else that happened here. They let me find it. Their conference tournament. That game right there. You know what that did?
What's that? That put them over the mark?
That put them in the winner's bracket of their conference tournament.
Gotcha.
And then they had to play on Monday. They got upended by Cleveland State, which that was when they played each other. That was a really good series.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had to play the number 2 seed Mississippi State and got handled.
Yeah.
But that's the first time in 35 years that Rome State has been in the winner's bracket of the conference tournament.
I gotcha.
My guy, Coach Cam Hamsley, who's been on our show several times,
It's true.
getting it done, deserves a raise.
Absolutely, he does.
And that's the same conference that Dyersburg State is. And if people watching remember, we had Connor Cantillo on here a couple weeks ago, who was a redshirt pitcher at Dyersburg State.
Mm-hmm. So I've actually talked to him recently, and he hasn't told me the schools, but he said that he is narrowing down his list right now. He has quite a few offers, and it sounds like he's going to stick the JUCO route.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping he goes and hangs out with our friend.
We had another kid on almost a year ago, a little over a year ago, Grayson Burleson.
Mm-hmm.
At the time was a Vanderbilt commit. Went out to Arizona, played in the Perfect Game Series out there. Came home, decommitted from Vanderbilt. I was informed on Sunday that him and his dad had left to go down to Florida
Mm-hmm.
to visit the campus of the JUCO that he's going to in Florida.
Oh, he's going JUCO?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm thinking he's gonna, because if you think about it, you can go to JUCO now.
You can go pro instantly.
And play 2 years, develop, and then go D1 and play 3 years.
That shocks me, though. But he could also opt out and not even worry about going D1 and just go pro.
If he gets drafted high enough.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he may get drafted out of high school. We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
That shocks me, though.
Gardner Webb. I'm glad to see that she's watching the show.
Absolutely.
Actually talked to her a little bit this week. Still having a hard go of it. But she's a friend of the show and always will be. And
Always.
glad to see her watching.
Sarah's the GOAT. Let's see. All right. I'm that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so he's going to Northwest Florida State College. He's a 9.5 on Perfect Game site. Still. What? I mean, I know his fastball's got to be mid-90s by now. It was 91 2 years ago. So it's got to be mid-90s. Interesting.
So think about it. You can go JUCO and develop for 2 years. And then go the D1 route. And even then, you could play 1 year at D1 and be draft eligible.
Yeah. Let's see what Northwest Florida has done baseball-wise this year. Okay, yeah, they're a good team. Yeah, they went 33-16 this year. Their season did end though recently. Let's see. Yeah, they had to play. Okay, so they played in a regional. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. So they played in their regional and they split their regional? But they're out? How does that even make sense? They went 1-1, but their season's over? Oh, they just put the wrong score in. That's what it was. Okay. Their site says they won the game, but they actually didn't win it. So, okay. But yeah, I mean, I respect going the JUCO route. I'm just a little shocked, to be honest. I wonder if something was said to him by a D1 school to influence that.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, I know it's obviously like stuff like that's kind of questions you can't really ask publicly anyway, but
The National Junior College World Series is in Grand Junction, Colorado, May 24th through the 31st.
Yep.
They have district tournaments.
Gotcha.
Walter State plays in the Appalachian District, May 13th through the 15th.
Gotcha.
The East is in Florence, South Carolina. That was won by Florence Darlington Tech.
Gotcha. So an update for you. LSU Shreveport has moved to 53-0 after yesterday they played Ottawa and they won 5-2, and today they played Johnson, Tennessee, and they won 15-4. So they're at 53-0 right now. Let me see if they give an update on who they play next. All right, so there's 2 more days, so they'll probably play 1 or 2 more games. So if I'm not mistaken, I think they said that they could get to like 59-0 if they run through the tournament. I mean, like, I don't care what division you're in. Like, if you have a season like that, that's just unheard of. I mean, it would go down as the greatest season in the history of college baseball. Doesn't mean they're the best team ever in college baseball because they're in a different division, but either way, that deserves praise, especially for a team that averages 50 fans a game. Which I get it. It's an AIA. It's not your typical D1 powerhouse that draws a lot of fans, but man, it's so cool to see. I'm just curious how many guys may hit the portal after this successful season. Because I mean, they have some really good players. Their staff ERA was 2.2 going into the postseason. By the way, when your pitching staff can throw a 2.2 ERA combined, that's absolutely amazing. Let's see. Did you find my other video by chance?
I've been looking at something else.
No, you're good. No, it was just a video of Trey Morgan making one of the most outrageous plays you will see this year in left field. Man, I'm so excited for postseason baseball. I really am. Oh, dang. I'm just now looking at all the comments that I have missed. Dominic Ambrose has been watching. My apologies, man. I totally missed. I've missed every comment that's come through tonight. Yeah, FSU and UNC this weekend, that's going to be a freaking war. I'm looking forward to that. And honestly, it'll actually tell me a lot that I need to know because I am very curious about how good North Carolina really is. And it's not saying that they're not good, but it's more of I want a better sample of where they actually stand. What you looking for?
I was just looking up some of these G-code things.
You can look into that all night. Well, Chris, let me ask, what are your final thoughts for the evening heading into the final regular season weekend of college baseball?
Went way too fast.
It did. It always does.
Way too fast.
I hate that. I still think you need to come down to Hoover this year.
I mean, maybe
Might as well. Why not?
we play on if we get the double bye, we'd play on Thursday. If not, we'd play on Wednesday. Maybe. But I still say I think our best bet is throw off, go home and rest, and get ready for region.
My question is, do they throw J.D. Thompson in that game?
Zero chance they throw him on short rest.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
They haven't done it all year. They haven't done it all year. Even when we went from the Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the 1 week, then we had the Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They left him in the Friday spot.
Makes sense. Which, I mean, hey, that'd be an advantage for Vandy if they were to win their first game in the SEC tournament. So, because see, like the way that like LSU stands, I mean, you got Cade Anderson game 1 for us, then you'll have Ianson game 2, and then you have Cason Evans game 3. He would be pitching the championship should they win the other 2. I don't know.
I believe our Wednesday guy would start.
I mean, that's fair.
If we play on Thursday, if we play on Wednesday, he'd probably start that, and then they'd do a staff day on Thursday.
Yeah, I can see that. Man, that's gonna be fun. I didn't even attempt to apply for credentials.
Or maybe say Austin Nye pitches. If we play on Wednesday, Austin Nye gets 1, and a guy that hadn't been used much at all this year, Ryan Ginther, still on that roster.
What about McElvain?
You want to save him for late inning bullpen. He's better coming out of the pen.
I gotcha. What about Sawyer Hawks? What if you just give him a chance?
You're losing one of your best arms out of the pen.
But in Hoover, it doesn't matter. I mean, you got unlimited options at that point.
I mean, if you're trying to make a run, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you've got a national seed locked up, you don't burn your arms to try and get it done.
I guess this weekend will determine what Vandy's plans are in Hoover.
I mean,
I think if they go 2-1, I think they try to win at least one game in Hoover.
Maybe.
A sweep, I think they just say, all right, we're going to call in the water boy to pitch today.
Yeah.
Just don't get hurt. It'll be the message that day. I always wondered, like, the teams that don't necessarily perform in the SEC tournament very well and just, they're just there to get out, basically. Like, I wonder what the coach's message is to that team before the game. Because obviously you're not going to tell your team to go tank. And you're not going to say it's not important because you're going to preach that every game you play is important. Like, I wonder what the mindset leading into that is.
I mean, you can say go out there and play hard, try to win.
Yeah.
But then you can as a coach, you can make moves during the game.
Yeah.
Where you're not really putting an effort into trying to win.
I mean, honestly, with some of the bigger teams, I would not be surprised if we saw Johnny Holstaffs on their first games.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm all for that. Well, and I kind of hope that happens.
See, and that's the thing with Vanderbilt. They do have the 4th starter.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Nye has started every single midweek game this year.
I gotcha.
Every single one of them.
I gotcha. You do know that Cade Anderson got hurt the other day, right?
Really?
Yeah, he had to get pulled from the game. He was throwing like later in his. I mean, he'd gotten close to 100 pitches at this point, and he was throwing, and like coach saw him, like he was just doing that with his wrist. He was a lefty, and his velocity dropped from like 95 to 91 like instantly. And the reason was he got a cramp like right here in his wrist. It was just a cramp. It wasn't like anything injured or anything like that. And he basically, his hand went numb, and he couldn't feel the ball. And so they got him to throw a couple just like sample pitches, and they just like, stuff was still fine, but they were just like, no, we're not going to risk it. So they took him to get him examined just to make sure nothing serious was going on, and they confirmed he was good. He threw his bullpen yesterday and looked good. But it was a very scary hour before they came out and said that he was okay.
Scary for Tennessee Friday night.
What happened Friday?
Did you not watch the game?
I watched bits and pieces.
Late innings. Liam Doyle. I don't know how they saw it, but they saw something. Next thing you know, staff comes out. Dude's got blood all over his pants.
From what?
He had a blood blister on one of his fingers.
Again?
Popped. Yes.
Oh my God.
It was
How
all
hard
over
is-
his pants.
All right, so what is up with these blisters this year? I've
He's
never
the
heard
only-
anything about it.
He's the only one I've seen getting them.
I've heard of, I want to say there's another pitcher I heard about that got one. It was a Florida pitcher that got one.
And that's the second time with Doyle.
That's crazy.
What is he doing that's causing that?
I wonder if it's like his spin, like when he releases it from that tight grip for a spin or something, maybe the laces are just like hitting his finger just right to cause it or something.
There's something weird going on there.
I mean, what he's doing works clearly, but that's...
I thought they were going to pull him instantly. Well, they ended up leaving in the game and then pulled him between innings.
I was wondering why you kept saying there's blood everywhere, because I'd stopped watching at that point.
It's all over his pants.
That is interesting. See, I'm wondering now, like, is his finger raw?
Good
Is
question.
he able to even go this week?
Oh, he'll go. Let's see.
And it's a shame, too, because you can't put, like, liquid bandage on your finger because that'd be considered an adhesive. Dang. Huh.
Apparently, I didn't get it. I thought I took a screenshot of it when the camera
I
was up
gotcha.
there. But
That's crazy, though. Oh, man. Well, let's close this thing out. I got to get to bed. I gotta work early in the morning.
close her out.
Let's do it. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching tonight. Look forward to a really good weekend of games. I really think that y'all are going to like what you see this weekend. Next week, though, that's where it's really fun. So next Tuesday, I'm not really sure what the status of the show is in terms of how we're going to do it, because there's a good chance I may be in Hoover, depending on the seatings. I'm going to play it by ear. I may not go Tuesday. I'm not sure yet. It just really depends on who's playing. I mean, either way, I will come on the show through my phone.
The bottom end of the conference.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, do I want to go see that or not? But I'm not too sure yet. It just depends on who the matchups are. But yeah, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
On the diamond where they play, sweeping competition every day.